Nerd news now.
2, 1.
God, you can't not do that. Welcome to Nerd News Now, where we like to count 2 and 1. That is just the rules. Countdowns reign supreme.
That's how numbers work.
So 2 numbers.
That's how numbers work.
I want to make sure every single countdown I do from now on does not have 2 and 1 in it.
Yeah.
Just to annoy Kyle.
And somewhere you're going to see the last of my hair fall out, Brainy.
Hey, everybody, look, Chaz is back. We've missed Chaz.
Hey, what's up, man? We're live right now, right?
Yeah.
Right on, very cool, man. I'm excited to be back for a night. I'm like that Tinder date that won't leave you alone. Like, you get rid of me for a while, then I come back, and then you'll get rid of me for a while.
So how
Do we
many?
need to go to the Walgreens up the street? Is that what you're telling me?
I think you should. Whether it's a shot of something or a plan B, whatever. Just to be safe.
So how many different weekends have you been out with Rocket Queen?
Oh, none.
Oh,
No, the guys wanted to play shows or whatever, and I don't. So I'm taking a step back from the Rocket Queen business.
what?
No, but a lot of other cool stuff is coming up. I'm in a film that's shooting in Huntsville very soon, so that's cool. And then, of course, doing some stuff with all the Comic Cons that are coming up. As far as there's a whole bunch of cool stuff coming up. So, in the world of Chaz, I'm going to focus on the nerddom instead of the music. And if a big festival or something comes up, then I'll jump on the tour. But the one-off shows, I just don't have time for. It just takes up too much of my stuff. So, right now, I'm just fat Chaz, fat nerdy Chaz.
Do you when Rocket Queen goes and does shows, is it all local stuff or do they go all over the country?
We've been all over the country. Usually, the big tours are all over.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been wanting to get back into it, and they've done a couple of one-off shows. But for me to do a one-off show, then I have to take time out of my week to drive to East Texas, go to the studio, rehearse, and do all of that for one show, which I don't mind doing if it's for 6 months. But I mean, to do it for one show and one show only, it just doesn't entice me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so now I'm doing nerdy stuff, like Nerd News Now. Oh, anyway, yeah. So what's been going on? Things are new. I like about how almost everyone has a background, except for Jen, which it's just her layer, so I dig it.
Yeah. It's like I live in the background.
Right on.
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely, Brainy and I are in top secret locations. That's, my background changes just about every week. This week I'm in the lab. We're actually building my new production team robot.
Shh, the government's not supposed to know about that.
I
Yeah.
like how his background is nice and pink. Is it supposed to make us feel calm?
It is. Is it working?
Yes, it's so calm.
No, because that chair looks wicked uncomfortable.
Why don't you try sitting on it?
The green one.
Yes. It's very
Looks
comfortable.
awful low to the ground for me. I'm a fat kid. I'm not sure I'd be able to get up after.
Well, you're a fat kid. You don't want to get up after.
That's true, but eventually I'm gonna have to go to the kitchen. So
See, that's the beauty of that chair. You got the button that you just press and it just rolls on over.
now you're just making crap up, Brainy.
I feel like out of place right now. Hold on. All right.
Hey, Kyle should feel out of place. Almost, he's the only one that does not have hair longer than the shoulder.
Are you sure it's not hidden up underneath there? That's it. You guys think, okay, we're talking about nerd stuff all the time. Is there a nerd?
This is definitely lower than my shoulder.
Is there a
Had to get it straight.
nerd look for hair? I mean, other than like the bowl cut that's like from TV and stuff. Is there a typical nerd look?
No.
Is it? I don't think so anymore. Like I bet like back in the day it was like that dude's a nerd or that chick's a nerd because of their hair, but now nerddom is so popular, I think it's just I can't tell who's a nerd anymore.
Right?
At
Even the
least by
jocks
their
are
hair.
nerds nowadays.
When we used to go line up at the airport for San Diego Comic-Con flights, we have to go earlier and earlier every year now just because otherwise the flights fill up. But I remember Mike and I used to go and play a game, like who's going to Comic-Con with us? And now we have to rely on the shirts. Like the shirt is key. You can almost always tell if you're at the airport in the proximity of the terminal where it's going to San Diego. You can almost always tell those people because they're always wearing their nerddom on them.
Not anymore, though. I mean, everybody's walking around with Avengers shirts and Deadpool shirts, Batman shirts. It's getting harder and harder to tell who's who nowadays, which is a good thing, right? We're spreading our joy of everything nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
My game was always driving back and forth to like Chicago for cons. Is which car is going to Comic-Con? Because you can't see what the people look like or what they're wearing, but it's like, all right, that guy has a really obscure G.I. Joe sticker on his back window. He's going to Comic-Con. And it's, that person has the little family, but they're all wearing capes. They're not going to Comic-Con because they can't afford it. It's playing that game, in the car, mixed with, should we try and rob the semi? Which is my other favorite game because on the Turnpike, we get a large amount of Sargento trucks, cheese transport vehicles, and it's should we rob a semi for cheese? It's always a fun game.
The question is, you have crackers with you?
Right?
Well, I'm just saying. Like, that's the kind of...
Summer sausage just to cut up is what you need.
Yes. But that's always the fun part about traveling like to Chicago for Comic-Con is that you literally just see the weirdest group of things ever. Because like you have to go past the International Camping Hall of Fame to get there. And like all this other stuff. So you never know what you're going to come across on the way to Comic-Con. More than once we've crossed the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. Like on the Turnpike.
I need to go back. Did you say the International
Camping Hall of Fame?
Yeah. First off, there's an International Camping Society for anything, and second, it's a Hall of Fame.
I drive by it. I don't visit. I imagine
you have to go
boring,
visit just so we can.
I imagine it's the most boring museum ever. It's like this is the exhibit to the guy who invented the tent.
The porta potty.
Right.
This is also where Kyle buries the bodies. So
right.
Nobody
it is in rural Indiana.
At this place.
It is in rural Indiana. Like I imagine that's what it's a front for. Is it's like, serial killer trafficking or something.
Kyle, that's research. You have to go visit. We need to know. We need to know what's in there.
It's just like a big Studio 54. When you walk in, there's disco, there's dancing, there's party. The biggest party ever is at this joint. Right. And it's so exclusive because nobody would ever just show up.
I'm trying to figure out what camping is a secret word for.
Okay, so along the route, because I just pulled it up, you also pass the International Monster Truck Museum and Hall of Fame.
That's understandable.
Only go a few miles past the Circus Hall of Fame in Peru, Indiana.
Those make sense. Camping Hall of Fame. I once spent 12 years in a tent. Hall of Fame.
They probably got displays of what's the best looking tent.
August 16th, I can go to the 2020 and 2021 Hall of Fame class induction dinner.
For what?
A double dog dare you.
Camping Hall of Fame.
Really?
They just serve you beans in a can and overcooked burnt weenies. white bread that
Curry.
has fallen in the dirt. Like, this is what they serve you.
On an open campfire.
Exactly.
They're only closed Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Day.
Because they're out camping?
You know the like camping things that they have for like if you're climbing on a cliff and you just hang like a tent off of the cliff, like the insane people that do those things. I imagine maybe that stuff's there. Or the tent from someone that made it to Mount Everest and actually cared enough to bring back their tent, which is like one person probably.
Yeah.
Is there anybody here that disagrees that Kyle needs to make that trip for us? He needs to do the research.
It's $12 to get in.
I'll give it.
Keep it better. We'll all split it. We'll split it 4 ways for you to go and do a thing for the show. I'll give you $3, and you tell us what's up, man.
And I'll buy you a hot dog as well.
Oh, that's free with admission, I can assure you. It's probably we'll send you up there with some mustard, so you don't taste that burnt skin. Yeah, man, we got this. I think we're planning it out. Let's do it.
I bet you they have s'more flavored Pringles in the gift shop.
I'm looking at the gift shop.
This may happen. We're gonna have to do hashtag Kyle goes camping. Let's make this a thing.
I
donate for gas money.
I don't even. I'm.
Kyle, it's a gift shop.
What's in there? What's
Yeah,
in
but
there?
this-
Tell us.
They have tote bags, ball caps, 49 different books on camping.
Okay.
In the
Not
household
50.
exhibit, they've got like 9 different kinds of beer koozie. Basically, the whole household exhibit is just ways to keep your booze cold while camping.
Interesting.
Oh, you can get the Hall of Fame decals and plaques for your own home, so you can lie about being in the RV Hall of Fame.
What? Why would you want that? But then again, it would look really nice to that singing bass right on your wall. You know what I mean? So, there you go.
I can't believe I've been looking at this website this long. This is
Definitely.
I will say this, that it looks like this whole thing is run and to benefit of that GoRVing.com, that they have commercials and stuff, like, okay, I can get behind that. But there is a whole section on here of Hot Wheel Winnebagos.
Kyle,
Like-
you really have to go, man. We want to see what this is.
All right, it's happening.
All right. Very
And what's
cool.
funny is
I'll Venmo you my $3, and we'll start the campaign. Hashtag Kyle goes camping.
I'll pick up a comic retailer friend of ours on the way and make him go with us. I'll stop in Fort Wayne and grab him and be like, "Hey, we're going to Elkhart."
Oh.
And he'll be like, "No, we're not." I'll be like, "Yeah, we're going to Elkhart."
Bring a camera. Record it all.
Please don't make me. Please don't make me.
Do they mention how big the site is? I'm curious. How
It's
much
huge.
can they... Really?
Well, because they have a big event hall. I think that's really where they make their money is weddings and conferences and events and stuff.
Do they have an annual RV show there or something that,
I'm sure they do. Well, here in Toledo, we have the National Museum of the Great Lakes, which is the largest collection of shipwrecks from the Great Lakes anywhere.
Oh.
that could
And
be
the way
interesting.
that thing stays afloat is weddings. Is you have your wedding in the museum.
Mhm.
Huh.
Be like, hey, there's the list of the dudes who died in that shipwreck. Then you can stand in front of it and get married.
That's interesting, man.
Dark.
What an interesting world we live in, right?
Right.
What an interesting world. You know what? I don't think I would ever get married and next to a whole bunch of shipwrecks or camp tents or anything like that. But I possibly would like to get married in a cereal factory. Maybe a cereal factory on the 9th. In 2 days, I would probably do it. I don't know why. It's, I would. breakfast cereal. Do we have a favorite breakfast cereal?
That's called a transition, ladies and gentlemen.
That's called a segueing right on in.
No lie.
Favorite breakfast cereal? You know, one of my favorite things about growing up was waking up early on a Saturday, and when you couldn't stream things, and I know that's blowing people's minds, at least the younger kids, who are like, you can't stream things? Just waking up early, watching cartoons, and filling up a whole big old bowl of cereal. That's one thing I really enjoyed.
That hasn't changed. I just did that this morning. I watched DuckTales and I had a bowl of cereal.
I know, right? But it was something special when you had to get up and you had to make sure that you had to be up at a certain time, because if you weren't, then you didn't see your show that week.
Oh, man. Running during commercials?
Cereal of choice of going in there watching those. Did you have a cereal or an oatmeal flavor?
Having to go back and get more milk during commercials, like,
right,
so you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah.
No, well, and this is funny because I spent an inordinate amount of time talking to Steve Orlando about breakfast cereals this weekend, which is a strange thing to say about a person. But I was a Count Chocula guy.
Me too,
yeah.
Man. I love Count Chocula, but my mom would never buy it. I don't know why, but she would buy all the other stuff, whether it's Frosted Flakes or Trix or Fruit Loops or whatever. But for some reason, if I wanted, and I think because looking at it now, Count Chocula is just a little bit more than all the other ones, and I don't know why. Maybe I couldn't tell you as to why. But
then when I got older, it was Reese's Puff cereal.
Oh, right on. Very cool. Yeah. What about you guys?
I needed something I could just pour in my mouth and add a little milk and run out the door.
It's always been
small enough.
Yeah, just shake your mouth, shake your
always
head.
Chocolate cereal for me. Doesn't matter what it is. Always chocolate.
Miss Jen, since you don't eat sugar, do you ever eat cereal?
I don't, but I do have a funny story from my childhood that's going to make you guys laugh.
Nice.
So my grandfather lived up against the highway, I-35 in Georgetown, Texas. And at some point in my childhood, there was an 18-wheeler that was for Purina, which is the company that makes Chex Mix and Chex. It turned over, and once something like that happens, they're not allowed to make that food go anywhere. It's just trash. So they let my grandfather and his best friend Herman go and empty out the 18-wheeler of all the cereal. So wheat check, rice checks, So I'm not lying, 5 years of my life, that is all I ate. The mysterious part here is that I still like corn checks and rice checks.
That's pretty surprising, because if I had to eat something for 5 years, I probably wouldn't eat it anymore.
Right.
But yeah, Chex. I mean, I've had Chex, and those that's a good cereal. I mean, I would put a little bit of sugar on top, and just and then actually it'd be a whole bunch of sugar.
Put it in chocolate milk.
I've never done that, but I remember the Chex stuff. You put the sugar in it, and it just floats right down to the bottom. So when you're drinking the milk, you just have that sludge of sugar coming down. And diabetes. By the way, tonight's program is brought to you by Wilford Brimley and diabetes. So, and his mustache. God rest his soul.
Diabetes.
Yeah, right on.
That was the third impression I had to learn. When I got diabetes, I had to learn how to do Wilford Brimley's diabetes.
Oh, is that so? I think that's. Yeah, it's in the pamphlet. I think.
Yeah, they tell you what voices to mimic to get there. They don't let you out of the hospital till you can do it when you get diagnosed. It's a whole...
Yeah, and you remember the paper clip from Word. You would open up a paper clip. So in that pamphlet, if I remember correctly, that pamphlet had just his mustache hopping around with little word bubbles saying, "This is what you need to do."
Yep. Diabetes. No. But the other one there's two things here. One, I have a friend whose father worked at General Mills, has a huge factory here in town. And what would happen is if any of the boxes weren't perfect, it couldn't go on the pallet to go to the stores. So about once a month, there would be a forklift accident. And everybody who worked there would get enough cereal to last them the month.
Which makes sense. They're like, why do you keep piling up cereal like 5 pallets high? You're not supposed to do that. Just 1 pallet at a time.
And then running into it with a forklift so it all falls over.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It was the 80s before there was safety. But, it's like, that's always a great story about the monthly forklift accident. And nobody ever got fired. Nobody ever got in trouble. Had to happen.
Well, yeah, the managers needed their cereal as well, so they weren't going to complain about it. They weren't going to write it up.
Yeah, they were probably sitting back going, Jerry, we haven't had our last forklift accident in about 29 days. Good job, guys. Good.
Here's
job.
a handle of Jack. We need cereal. Get it done.
Exactly. No.
It's like, hey, get that new kid to learn how to ride a forklift.
Yeah. Especially around these new items we have, because we have been wanting to try out the s'mores for at least a month.
Right.
But that's the other fun thing, right? Is that we grew up having flavors of cereal that they didn't have anywhere else. Yeah. Because General Mills is here, so they would just put it in the local stores and test out how well it sold.
That's pretty cool.
And so, we had a bunch of flavors that, now they're widely available in Canada. Can't get them in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But, that were really great, Dunkaroos cereal. That lasted for about a minute. I remember that one. I remember when Disney's Recess was a show on Saturday mornings. They had Recess the cereal, but there was one kid on Recess that was significantly larger than the rest of them, and the cereal pieces were supposed to depict every kid. So you'd get a bunch of little pieces and then one giant one that looked... there were reasons these things didn't go, but what was great about it, the other thing that was great about it, is when they did the Ghostbusters cereal, it was everywhere. It wasn't hard to find.
Yep.
So we lost Miss Jen.
Sorry, that's Jesse trying to call me. He doesn't know my schedule right now.
You're in trouble.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to have a meeting with Shannon so she can start doing our booking, but to find a free 5 minutes to talk to her is kind of weird.
Yeah,
I want to
find a free 5 minutes to talk to him. What's maybe not something you should do while you're doing a live sale? Have someone packing books directly next to the microphone, running a tape gun.
I find it soothing myself, but that's just me. Have you guys seen the little meme that's been trucking around today? That was when we're talking about accidents at the workplace. It's one of the signs that you have on the fence. When it's supposed to say how many days since your last accident. And so this one says accident-free since, and then it has the blank at the bottom and it says Jerry left.
That's pretty good. I like that one.
Accident-free since never.
I'm gonna have to get that for Jarek.
Yes.
Speaking of signs, we had to put up a sign at our store, basically stating our store is not childproof. Please watch them.
Oh, right on.
The sign I had was unaccompanied minors will be exposed to very expensive habits.
Oh, yes.
We used to have signs all over the antique mall where I had a booth for a little while. It was unaccompanied children will be given a kitten.
That's pretty nice too.
Mm-hmm.
We should do one. It's if you leave a child here after 5 p.m., they will be fed sugar and cereal to stay up all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one. You need to sign. Unaccompanied minors will be given energy drinks.
There we go.
But to get back to Chaz's cereal topic, and I mentioned it a little bit. What is the wildest novelty cereal you've ever gone out and bought? Did you guys go buy the Ghostbuster cereal, or were any of you guys I got to get that guy on the Wheaties box collectors?
No, the only cereal that I avidly just went out and got was, I guess it was a couple of years. It's been a couple of years now, but it was the Count Chocula, Frankenberry, and the Blueberry. but the boxes were done by 3 artists. One was Jim Lee, and I can't remember the other 2. But I grabbed like 2 boxes per. One I can open and one I can't open. But the artwork on them is awesome. Maybe I could find it, but let's see. But that's what I avidly went out. But I remember as a kid there was some Mr. T cereal. It stands out. There was a Super Mario or a Nintendo cereal where they had Super Mario on one side and Zelda on the other. It was 2 different kinds of cereal. I remember Star Wars cereal had C-3PO on the box. It
had that Hildebrandt art right on the front.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and I just remember them tasting delicious. But
the Batman cereal.
A few years ago, I bought some boxes of what I thought were the Star Wars cereal. I opened them up, and inside were the original cards for Migos. And it was just the cards. None of the figures were there. None of the blister packs were there. None of that. But it was a bunch of Migo cards that somebody had put in these boxes so they wouldn't lose them. Then clearly they lost the box.
Oh, well.
Why would you open up the boxes of Star Wars cereals anyway?
I got it and I realized this isn't cereal. This is way too heavy to be cereal. What is in this box? Because I didn't want to put it out for sale if there was a brick in it or something. I want to know what was in it. And I'm like, oh crap. What's in this is worth way more than the box itself. I'm just gonna take these out and sell these and keep the Star Wars cereal boxes.
Huh. Right on. So I found it 2014. Jim Lee did the Boo Berry, and Terry and Rachel Dodson redesigned Count Chocula. Dave Johnson took on Frankenberry as part of the DC Comics / Monster cereal team up. And I've got these boxes. So those are the 3 that I avidly went out and bought. It was yes. But anyway, so yeah, there you go.
But in conjunction with Marvel's Loki, they have decided to make the most mischievous cereal ever more mischievous.
That's what it's called?
No, it's introducing Loki Charms.
Hmm? No, it says it's going to debut on the 9th and available at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Fans will have the chance to name a box of Loki Charms inside the same frosted oats and marshmallows. So they're not changing anything except for the name.
I think I'm going to call shenanigans. I bet you we bite into those marshmallows and they're not the right flavors. It's something else.
Those shows actually have flavors?
They're only making 3,500 boxes.
Yes, and I will be one of the people to buy one of these boxes of cereal.
I'm wondering if I just go over to the GM factory and just knock on the door and be like, hey, I have cash. Can I save your shipping department 1 box?
I think you're about 2 weeks too late.
No, because you have to buy it through their website.
Ah.
Yes, they'll be on. Let's see. The promotional campaign for the new Loki TV streaming series on Disney Plus is ramped up in time. Jim Rose. Lucky Charms to create new limited edition cereal called Loki Charms. The cereal will be sold on the Mischievously Delicious website. Yes, mischievouslydelicious.com. Starting the morning of June 9th at the same time that the Loki series begins to stream. There will only be 3,500 boxes available for a price of $8 each, shipping included.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. That's not bad.
And we all know what shipping rates look like right now. So they're losing money. They're saying we're making this box of cereal for less than $1.
Hey, man, I don't care how I get it. But I'm gonna get.
Can you send cereal media mail?
No, you can't send cereal media mail.
You can try. they failed because they were supposed to release it so that we have it to start watching the show.
Mhm.
And they're supposed to release it a week early so we have it and ready to watch. Yeah, like
Yeah,
our
that'll
old,
be cool.
our
Oh.
old school serial and more Saturday morning cartoons.
Mhm.
That's fine. I'm getting it either way. I'm gonna get 2 boxes if I'm able to. I didn't, Funko released their Blacklight Ghost Rider, and I wasn't able to. As soon as the email came out, I don't know, it wasn't too much longer. I clicked on it, and it was already sold out. Which I have all the other Blacklight ones. I do not have that one. So
Has anybody ever eaten any of the Funko cereal? Is it any good?
I haven't.
I feel like Funko cereal is the kind of cereal that would make your poo taste or poo look funny.
I'm sorry, what?
Kyle.
You know, yeah.
Let's go ahead and do a take 2
Like-
on that. Nerd news on Kyle.
Yeah.
Take 2 on Kyle.
Yes. I feel like Funko cereal is the kind of stuff that make your poo look funny. Like when you eat Superman ice cream and it's green and you're like, wait, what has happened? Because you're a 7-year-old and you didn't know this was coming. You know, like I feel like
that
that's
is a pretty epic day though when you realize. Wait a minute.
First time you ever ate Superman ice cream and you're like, oh, Mom, this has changed something about me internally. I think I might be becoming Superman. I don't know what's happening.
Hey man, the first time you had too many beats.
Beat.
Yeah, we didn't have too many beats around the house. But you know who loved their beats? The
Wait,
Monsters.
Yeah.
No. They love their beats today. Did you guys hear about this? It's like official now. The Munsters, the movie with Rob Zombie. I don't know how I feel about this. I love Rob Zombie. I love the Munsters, but
Right, but I don't want the monsters to be scary,
Mm-mm.
and I don't want Rob Zombie to make not a Rob Zombie type of movie. You know, it's one of those things is that like you can't change the monsters from being campy and goofy. Like it's just you can't. But also if you're Rob Zombie and you make a comedy, that's not very Rob Zombie, and I don't.
that's
not
true. But maybe he's branching out a little bit. I mean, there's maybe he's trying to. I don't know. His wheelhouse. We all know what his wheelhouse is. Maybe he's trying something else. Which I know he's a huge fan of the Munsters, and I think maybe he'll do it justice. So like I'm on board. And of course,
Right, if it had come out that it was Rob Zombie and I don't know Tim Burton, I would have more confidence. If it was like Rob Zombie and I don't know, like somebody who's got more of that kind of campy background, I would be all right with it. But I do not want House of a Thousand Monsters. Like
that's what everybody thinks it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a House of I think he's probably, him being a fan, I think he's going to kind of stick to it. I would imagine. He's been a fan since he was a kid and whatnot. So I don't think it's going to be, we're going to walk into the Munsters house and, they're all, munching on, what's her name? Marilyn, because maybe that's how they open it up. She was different, so we ate her.
I just think
I don't know.
I don't think
out there like Robert Rodriguez who makes Desperado but also makes Spy Kids. I think you can make something.
See, that's what I mean. Is if it was, he's co-producing with Robert Rodriguez, or he's co-producing with Quentin Tarantino, or somebody who I think who has a little bit more of that camp background, I would feel more confident.
I don't know, man.
But
I'm gonna go.
Also,
it's coming at us, so I'm staying positive. I think he's gonna do it good.
Well, if we get a white zombie tour out of the release of it, I don't even care how bad it is or how scary it is or how much it doesn't remind me of the Munsters. I get to go see White Zombie. I'm happy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down.
Speaking of other movie, Indiana Jones 5 stuntman had an accident on set while wearing a Harrison Ford mask.
Why?
We need another Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's called Indiana Jones and the Curse of the Jamaican Nurse. You know. I don't think
Indiana Jones and the Escape from the Assisted Living Facility.
Yes, exactly. It's along those lines somewhere. And Harrison Ford has probably been on set a total of 5 minutes because the dude is wearing the mask, and they got CG now. So actually, he's just hanging out. He doesn't have to take out his cool earring anymore. He's just like CG it out, and yeah, they're probably gonna make at least 10 or 12 of those movies because a new Rocky, I think, is coming out as well.
Yeah, but Stallone is only in a couple minutes of it. They're saying that it is more of a. They're bringing back Milo Ventimiglia, who played his son in the last Rocky movie, and Michael B. Jordan, who's been in the Creed films, and they're leading the new Rocky movie, and he's just in it for like a few minutes.
Hey, I got you on that. But remember the end of Creed #1 where he was dead, and he came back. He's like, "Yo, hey, you on, man?
They shot my heart back.
Yeah." And now he was like in the entire
kind of disreputable.
He's not going to be only in 2-3 minutes of that movie. The dude's going to take it over.
Well, I like I said, the only thing I've seen him in that I've enjoyed him in is Guardians of the Galaxy. Recently,
because that's only because he was only in 2 minutes of that movie.
Right. He had 2 scenes. One line where he says, "This place is the world kind of disreputable," and then the other line where he goes, because even the subtitles can't tell you what he said. So,
hey, he did a good job on Judge Dredd. Dredd.
That was a long time ago.
Exactly.
I am the law.
I am the law.
I don't know. So there's a whole bunch of movies to not be excited about, obviously. But okay, I know you guys probably talked about this like when it came out, but having a new Rocky movie is as confusing to me as this new Eternals trailer. And again, I'm sure you guys have talked about it, but were you guys like, what the heck is going on here? Like everybody else?
I mean, we knew every single thing about Eternals. We sat here about for 3 hours discussing, little details here and there and everything about it.
Right on, because I've had that didn't happen, did it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we go, who are those guys? Oh, hey, that's that dude from Stuber.
Yeah, I think
line tore it apart for the experience. He did like an hour-long talk about it with the background of every character and who played them and how they were created and where they came from and other parts of the universe and what. It was mind-blowingly good. So if you want to know about the Eternals back history, find the Dan Wickline show that we posted up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Tells you all.
Perfect. Yeah. I will watch that.
Dan is really good at getting that background data, that background, like really digging into who these characters are and what they're about. But the only thing I took away from that show, only just because I was busy getting other shows ready and stuff at the time, was that Jon Snow and Bram Stark are fighting over someone named Cersei.
Yes, right?
I thought that was a...
And I don't know what those references mean, but I can remember that line.
But
Right.
I've still not seen a second of Game of Thrones.
Tisk.
I think I watched the first episode, and then I watched the last episode of the Diamond Retailer Summit, in which everyone was like, "Man, that sucked." I'm like, "I don't know what I saw. It looked good to me."
Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, what is all of this? And then, like, the joke of, well, since Cap's gone, who do you think should lead the Avengers? I'm like, none of you guys. None of you. Number one, you're just inching into this MCU, and we got to fall in love with you first. But let's not make that joke right quick. And then I saw Jon Snow, and I was like, all right, very cool. I know that guy. But it was only, like, that long. And Angelina Jolie, I was like, you've already taken me out of this movie. So, I don't know.
Although,
I mean, I will see it. They've got my money, but...
I watched Those Who Wish Me Dead again. I sat down with my dad and watched Those Who Wish Me Dead, her new action flick, and she's really good in it.
All right. Oh, that keeps coming
but
up on
it
Netflix
is
or something.
it is just a straight ahead action flick though. Like replace her with any other female action star, and they're going to be just as good. You know, it's not. It's like putting Bruce Willis in a movie with explosions. Okay, seems kind of on the nose, but we'll take it. But it was a good movie. I like that. Kumail Nanjiani in Eternals is going to play a serious role as someone who's primarily comedic actor, who I know as a stand-up. I like the fact that the Black Knight is going to play a big role because for the first time in a long time, I feel like Marvel beat us about the head with something that mattered, as opposed to just beating us about the head with something they thought would make them more money. So I'm excited for that kind of stuff. But I know probably less about the Eternals than I do any other team in the Marvel universe.
I think
which is great.
Collectively, we knew 3 characters out of the whole team, right?
Cersei, Black Knight, and
Black Knight.
With the big circles on his chest. Circle Man.
Isn't Wonder Man part of it?
No, but I'm very excited. I just bought 2 pages, a 2-page spread from a Wonder Man book. I'm very excited.
Nice.
Really cool art.
Cool. Very cool.
Is it from the
No,
90s?
No, it's maybe. It'd be like the early 90s one. I'd have to look at. I know who the
artwork in that, the early 90s Wonder Man.
Yeah.
Good art.
Yeah, it was Jim Shooter was the editor on that one. So yeah. But no, it's I think it's great. And this is what I've been saying about Marvel movies since the beginning, since Iron Man. When they made Iron Man was their 5th, 6th, 7th best-selling character, comic book wise. Like wasn't in the top 5. And then they make Iron Man and he's in the top 5. And then they keep going back to that well of lower level characters or lower, less underperforming characters and bringing them into movies and bringing them up along. And that's what I love about Marvel movies is they make me care about characters I forgot I cared about. And DC movies just make me angry at characters I love.
See, I don't think that was intentional on Marvel's part. I think they did it because they were forced to. They didn't have their main characters. They couldn't do anything with X-Men. Sure. They couldn't do anything with Fantastic Four. They couldn't do anything with Spider-Man.
But when backed into a corner and forced to act, it works out pretty well. Like that's what I'm saying. Is their hand was forced, and look how well it worked out.
Correct.
That was great.
Phenomenal. Why have we not seen a Midnighter and Apollo movie from DC? Because nobody knows who those characters are, and no one can care if you screw up that movie. So all you have to do is make a good movie.
Well, to DC's credit, they've done a good job on the silver screen. They've taken their smaller base characters and they've done a good job. CW
on the small screen.
Yes.
On the tiny screen. Yes.
Yes, on the tiny screen. Yes. They've done well on there. Because they haven't put their giant size, they haven't put their big Batman shows on there. Gotham did pretty well for them, but if they had introduced Batman in there, maybe I don't know.
No, they would have had to fix the canonical timeline problem in Gotham, but
True.
So we did have a big piece of comic book news, and we're running near to time, so we probably should address it. Bad Idea is no longer a bad idea, in that they are an unbad idea.
That's so stupid. I love Bad Ideas so much.
Me too.
I do too. I spent all day trying to figure out how to make an unparrot joke about Bad Idea.
Yes. We need that for tomorrow. Make us a meme.
A former parrot. Bad Idea is now a former idea. I don't know, but so one of the I'll be honest, from the people I've talked to, one of the hottest selling properties in comics recently one of the most talked about properties in comics, announced today that from their own statement, we regret to inform you that despite our best efforts and all of your wonderful support, Bad Idea as we know it must end, the company announced. Our sincerest thanks for the incredible journey. We will be announcing and releasing books through the end of the year. Beyond that, Bad Idea is over. It's the end of the world as you know it.
I feel fine.
That's how they need to come back. They need to come back as REM Comics.
Did you guys see today that someone had I think Cliff Biggers had put up a link to an interview they had done 21 days ago, in which he literally says, "We are going to close the company and come back with a new name." I mean, it's like as straightforward as possible. It wasn't even secretive. He didn't say, "Don't tell anybody."
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And that could just be a publishing move to try to, if they are trying to get movie rights, which we're pretty sure they are. I think they might want to change their name from Bad Idea, or it might have been a conflict with somebody else.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's other.
Or knowing that
Facebook, they never had a Facebook name. It was only the Bad Idea fans group. So they already had a problem. Then they had to be Bad Idea Hello on Twitter. So hopefully they've secured a name across all their platforms that they're going to use.
So if you just search Bad Idea, Bad Idea Holdings and the Bad Idea Supply Company have like amazing SEO. Just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it was like they're playing all along anyway. Like, hey man, we kind of like this, but if we do this, because they've done some really clever things since they've been out.
Knowing Dinesh and Adam,
done.
I'm pretty sure those two had it, and the rest of the guys as well. Not shortchanging them, but I'm sure they had it planned out probably a year ago.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I've liked everything they've put out so far, and it's funny too. So, hosting trivia like on the west side of Houston, I've got some guys who know that I work at the comic book shop, so they're like, "Hey, man, we would like to get our books from you." So of course they jump in on the Bad Idea stuff, and I've told them this already, but and they buy their Bad Idea comics, but I'm like, by the way, just let you know, like I read your copy. So, and they're like, cool, not a problem. We don't care. And I'm like, cool, bro. Like the Hank Howard piece of detective, read that, read the ENIAC. It's like, just to let you know, I've read this. Like this actual book, I have read it. And so if you're totally mad, I'll totally switch it up. They're like, nah, man, like we're going to read it anyway. And I'm like, cool, perfect.
Yeah, the next one you send them, autograph it for them. Be like, hey, just so you know, I read it and autographed it for you.
Yeah, yeah. That's just
by Chaz.
This it's a negative $3.99.
You should actually mark it as this book has been read by Chaz.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Now we're up to $1.50. So.
Officially inspected by.
There we go.
Comic book inspector Chaz. I like that.
So here's the deal. Either Bad Idea is coming back, bigger and badder, or whatever they're going to call themselves. That's the name I named them, bigger and badder. But
I like Big Idea.
The Big Idea is a good one, except for can't use that because of VeggieTales. But it's either that or they are really closing, in which all of our back stock of Bad Idea becomes worth billions.
Dude, isn't that true though?
Man, I don't know if I can. Never mind. I'll ignore it. I'll talk about it after we're off record.
I mean, what happens if they do? I mean, well, and if you think about it, they threw out so many books at us at one time too. They're like, dude, you got to sign up for all these books. And here's some one-offs, and then they just close at the end of the year. I would be like, this is brilliant. I love these guys. But yeah, like it's the best thing ever. Oh. I would immediately sell my hero trade though. I've got 3, but one of the ones that I've graded, I would immediately sell it.
Yeah, I've got 13 graded ENIAC #1 first prints.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I like them. I like what they're doing. Good stuff.
The thing about bad idea for me is, I didn't qualify. Whatever there were things were, these are the kind of stores we're looking for when they initially took their signups. My store didn't qualify. Like, I couldn't guarantee, certain orders. I couldn't, there were things like that. And by that point, I'd already fired Diamond, so I couldn't get them distributed the way they were distributing them. So I didn't sign up. But I've loved the idea since day one. And it's been really hard for me the last couple of months because I'm not a bad idea store, but I'm friends with dozens of them. To not just kind of start calling out these guys on the internet for bad ideas, so bad, it's so terrible. They're making the market crazy and this, that, and the other. I'm like, hello. Have you ever followed, I don't know, marketing ever for anything? Ever see a movie where they're like, coming soon to a theater near you? That's all bad ideas ever done.
Bad idea is the highest subscription that we have.
Same here. Top 3 titles are a bad idea right now for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, us as well. I think pretty much everybody who has a pool folder at our joint is signed up for a bad idea. The majority. And it's safe to say at least 70 to 75%.
We don't know if whether it's because of the hype or whether it's a good story, but we've got the numbers, so.
Right. At some point, whether it's the hype or it's a good story becomes less and less relevant.
Correct.
As long as the books are selling.
Exactly.
Very true. But, and if they totally close down, it's going to be hella less relevant. It's just going to be not relevant at all.
Right. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like, I feel bad for those guys that are out there like, eat the young, do things the way we've always done it, and missing out on all this money. That's been my statement about the comic book industry since day one, with maybe about a 15% exception, and they're all people I would consider friends now. Everybody I ever went to for help or asked questions of when I got into the industry, like, would have rather eaten their young than help me.
Oh, wow.
Wrong people, man.
Right. Like, the people I'm still friends with and the people I still work with are the people who are like, no, like, let's talk, let's help, everybody wins. And then there were a bunch of people who are like, no, Diamond is God.
Everybody has their little secrets and stuff that I'm sure they don't share, but overall, I don't see the point of not helping somebody else succeed in this business. I mean, we're a small niche group of retailers. We should be helping each other out, trying to boost the business. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever hurt me to help somebody else in this industry, and I'm going to keep doing it, even if it.
I will say it has hurt me, business-wise, helping somebody, because I've helped my own competitors. But that's a different story. Mm-hmm. I'm not complaining about it or anything like that, but I won't say that it hasn't hurt me helping somebody else out. I'd still do it all over if they ask me for help.
Mm-hmm. And like the line I give people now when I tell them that, new stores that I talk to all the time is it's, the people who helped me the most were the people who had been around forever and weren't threatened by me. And the people who realized that whatever I did wasn't going to detract from what they did. All it could do was make what they did better.
Yep.
So I had 2 stores within an hour of me literally hand me their orders. Hey, here's a copy of my invoice. This is what I'm ordering. So you kind of know what to think about.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
You never know what the new store will also help you out with as well. The knowledge you give them, you might be getting maybe even more knowledge back from them than you ever realized.
There's still a store here in town that they've been around for 35 years. I was around for 10. They helped us out when we started, and now I'm their marketing guy.
See,
like they come to me and they go, hey, we need a video, we need a thing, we need help with this. How do we do that? Oh, this is who you call. Or hey, we want to do something with the children's hospital. Who do we contact? This is the guy you call. And then you call this guy at the news because he's the one who's going to write the article. And you call this guy at the TV station because he's the one who's going to come out and film it. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, you just set it all up. None of this is done for free or easy. You just call them and tell them it's coming. It's that kind of help is always great. But I am excited to see what Bad Idea does. I think it should be called Dinesh and Adam Have a Bad Idea. I think that should be the new name.
That's
It's a little long,
it is a bit long, getting that
but it's
domain
shorter than
name.
Fantagraphics.
Yeah, but I don't want to sit there and type in Dinesh and Adam had a bad idea every time I want to go to their website.
No.
No, that's true.
Right on, man. So, comics this week. Do we have any comics that we're looking for this week?
Are there comic books coming out this week?
Oh yeah, some great ones.
So, one I'm excited about, Geiger. Oh, this is a great story. Yeah, it's number 3. A lot of people were just buying them up, and I think I didn't jump on it until like the second or third print, and it was selling so much, so I just picked one up. I read it. I was like, this is really good. It was one of those books that as soon as it comes out, like I'm on it. And usually I just kind of put it on a pile somewhere. So I'm really to see the continuation of that story for sure.
Bunny Mask from Aftershock.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Brainy, are you an Aftershock ambassador store? Do you have an Aftershock ambassador?
I'm sure I do. I have no idea. I'm sure I do. Because we were talking about it with the guys anyway, so I'm sure we do.
Have you guys seen the ambassador exclusive Bunny Mask variant?
I have not.
Oh, I don't have one in my office. They're in my car because I got to start taking them to stores tomorrow.
You can ship me mine.
Yeah, but it's a Francisco Frank Villa variant
nice.
that's in very similar to his variants on Afterlife with Archie.
That's interesting.
That is the most beautiful variant I've seen in a long time.
If I don't get mine, man, I'm coming after you.
Well, I can find out if you have a store, if you have an ambassador in your area, and who you need to talk to.
I'm pretty sure we do because I know I was talking to Joe about it. He was asking me if I wanted to do it, and I just didn't have the time for it.
Yeah.
How about
there you go? Maybe you're it.
number 2?
Mm-hmm.
Good Asian number 2. Did anyone read Good Asian number 1?
It didn't. We had such a low. We only had a few, and they sold out really quick, so I wasn't able to jump in on that.
It's a really cool concept. It happens part in Korea and part in. Oh no, I'm getting it mixed up. I'm getting it mixed up with Made in Korea.
Oh, right on. Yeah, we had a
Good Asian is also good, but I'm mixing it up in my brain.
Good Asian looks to me like it's like a Green Hornet type of book, and that's just based off the covers I've seen so far. But I'm probably totally off on that.
For me, Swamp God number 1 from Heavy Metal. It's a Ron Mars book. It's at the end of the Civil War. A group of Confederate soldiers calls upon the ultimate evil to save the South. Now the remains of their unit must team with the Union to survive the horrors of the Swamp God.
That's interesting.
And then also, we got to mention DC Pride. For the first time in a long time, well, for the first time ever, every major publisher is doing some sort of Pride engagement, be it a Pride book or partnering with us at the Experience to do Pride or partnering with another organization to do Pride. Everybody is doing something for Pride this month, which is great.
How about Ant number 12 finally?
Is that this week? That is this month? This week? Sorry. Yeah.
It was in my on my list, so I hope it's this week.
Man. I think I've completely forgotten what Ant was all about. It was a Spider-Man as an ant instead of spider, right?
Yeah, you can definitely tell its influence with the stuff. I was excited about Freak Snow. I got to talk to the creator today.
Yep.
And it's so funny because I was sure, so I already have Freak Snow in the house in the store, but I didn't realize it was the first series. And I had read that, and it was like mind-meltingly weird and cool and amazing. But so when I interviewed him, I was like, "Well, wait, this is totally new material. That's way cool." So it's like this is like the middle part of a 3-part kind of like idea of the series.
Yeah, I believe the one you have is like a standalone, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, it's like a thinner trade paperback.
That's cool.
We've got Heroes Reborn Night Gwen coming out, so they're doing another twist on Gwen Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
Just cool.
Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal, #2.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about the 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton?
Yes. Proctor Valley Road, if you guys aren't reading, that's pretty cool as well.
That's been so good.
Right.
That's the best thing Grant Morrison's written in years.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, actually.
Can anyone confirm, does White actually come out this week from Black Mask?
It's not on the list.
It's on my list,
Well,
but
I mean,
it's been on my list for every week for the last month and a half.
Yeah, it's not in the invoice. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I don't see it on my invoice either.
There you go. I think it'll probably stay on my list till it eventually does come out.
Weapon Spider-Man's coming back again. Do we need another Spider-Man title?
No.
I mean, I love Spider-Man, but do we need another one?
Dude,
is it Spider-Ham or is it regular Spider-Man?
It's a Web of Spider-Man.
Web of Spider-Man.
Pass.
But then again, it's an acronym for something, it looks like. But I think it's what is it? It doesn't say. Worldwide Engineering Brigade of Spider-Man. That's what that's what it stands for.
Didn't they already pull that one once?
Man, they're doing it again, Amy. I'm not reading Miles Morales, but they brought back the Clone Wars saga or the clone. Like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm definitely not gonna read Miles Morales now. This is just horrible. So yeah, I think they're trying to bring back a whole bunch of old stuff and just kind of give it a twist. So I don't know, man. We've got too many Batmans and too many Spider-Mans, and I love both of those titles, but I just can't keep up. There's just way too many.
It's finally coming out. The X-Men Legends Sam Keith #1 cover.
Wow.
I don't know, man. There's a lot to look forward to. That is for sure. But we've got some reads, man. Eve 2 is coming out. I like Eve. I think that's going to be. I mean, book #1 was pretty. It's interesting. It's awesome. It's got a great story. So I'm looking to see how that progresses and whatnot, and how they're going to get across the waters. So I think it's gonna be cool, man. It's gonna be cool. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up. That is for sure.
I'm looking forward to Baby Teeth 18.
I'm sorry, which one?
Baby Teeth 18.
Is that up this?
Yeah, it's this Wednesday.
Wow, it's not on my pull. Did I stop pulling Baby Teeth?
No!
It's not on my pull.
Just if you're into hardcover art books, Marvel Art of George Perez hardcover comes out this week. Worth looking up. And then from AWA, a book I missed when it first came out, so I'm picking up the trade. Erratic Volume 1 trade.
Oh, cool. Right on.
Erratic did really well for us. I mean, it's as close as you can get to a Spider-Man adjacent character that doesn't feel like it's Spider-Man. It just has the right color attitude, I guess.
Yeah, when I decided by the time I decided I wanted, every place had sold out around here. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'll wait for the trade. It'll make me, I'll binge it, which I don't normally do with comics. Normally I call you or, Brainy or somebody and be like, hey, I need this. I'm like, nope, I'm going to wait for the trade. I'm going to be patient. Even Axel was like, I can send it to you. I'm like, no.
Looks like Archie has an 80th #1, the 80th anniversary. And then Dynamite has got a follow-up to their super popular Dynamite series called Dynamite Lives.
And look at that. Who's on the cover but Vampirella and Ash, which is going to be awesome.
All right.
Cool.
Anything else?
Where is Baby? Are you sure? Oh, there it is. I'm trying to find out why it's not on my poll.
Did you stop it when it took a break for 2.5 years?
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it, and it looks like it's not being pulled for anybody. So our system might have automatically shut it off. Might have archived the title.
Yeah, I mean, 17 came out 2 weeks ago, or a month ago.
And
Was it a month ago now? Holy crap! It was a month ago now.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that one. Thanks for the heads up, guys. I gotta figure out what's going on with it.
Cool.
Is it time for me to do the thing?
I'm hungry. I need to get some quesadillas.
All right, I'm gonna do the thing.
Do the thing.
Thank you for watching Nerd News Now, part of the Kingdom of Geekdom on Woodlands Online, sponsored by the Adventure Begins Comics and Games and Space Cadets Collection. Check out other shows on Woodlands Online like Music Cafe, The Adventure Begins Show, The Best Shoe, Between the Ferns, Business Talk, Taste Buds, and much more. You can watch all of these on Woodlands Online and on our partner station, KVQT HD21, over the air on your TV if you're in the right area. All of these shows and more on Roku right now. Search and add Woodlands Online TV to your streaming lineup. Now you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and Pandora, or wherever else you can get fine free podcasts.
Brought to you by the Micro Machine Man.
Brought to you by training I never thought I would need.
And the Loki cereal, available for a limited time only.
Right. At Finer's cereal bars everywhere.
Very cool.
So for Jen, Brainy, and Chaz, I have been Kyle. This has been Nerd News Now. Bye, everybody.